Yeah, welcome to another Racer X Exhaust podcast brought to you by Yoshimura, but this is a special one because it will be the last of the cavalcade of press conferences via Zoom from Monster Energy Supercross in Utah, because it is over. The 7-race run not only happened, but it happened better than anyone thought. I don't know if that's proper grammar, saying something that happened better than anyone thought, but it really was. What appeared to be a compromise, a weird situation that everyone was just going to have to deal with, ended up learning a lot of positive lessons. And if you were to poll the riders and teams right now and said, would you race on Wednesdays and Sundays here and there again, I think they would take it. Everyone realized that they are riding during the week anyway, so having a race day during the week where it actually counts for something, well, that wouldn't be bad. There were some special circumstances here. We had the fantastic luck of very few nagging injuries. Adam Cianciarulo did go out early, but otherwise everyone was pretty healthy. And we didn't get to the 7th race as people expected, with people begging to go home, dying to get out of there, completely over it. They also fell in love with Salt Lake City and Park City, Utah. That ended up being the perhaps perfect place to have this residency for 3 weeks, so that helped. And thanks to the weather in some ways, the tracks ended up being pretty different also. So there was a bit of a Groundhog Day feel to it, but not nearly as much as everyone expected. This ended up going better than anyone expected, and now some of the lessons learned, I think people want to transfer into the future. I don't know how realistic that is, because I don't think you get a lot of fans at a stadium on a Wednesday or any weekday, because Supercross fans travel from all over, which is a lot easier to do on Saturday. So I don't know if you can really extrapolate any of this out to typical races, which are going to need fans in the future. But it's just so wild how this turned compared to what we thought it would be like. Now, that was the off-track stuff. Here we'll talk about what happened on the track. This is two champions, Dylan Ferrandis and Eli Tomac, in this press conference. Chase Sexton apparently was already celebrating and didn't attend the post-race press conference as 250 Supercross East champ. But we'll get to Ferrandis and Tomac in a moment. But a word to our sponsors. That's, of course, Yoshimura, title sponsor of this. Go to yoshimura-rd.com, the exhaust system that Sexton uses, for more on those exhaust systems. Or go to yoshimuracycling.com for the new Chaleo pedal and some cycling kits and other cool stuff. That's a new website and new technology for them. Also, this is all part of the Racer X Podcast Network. The guy that hosts these press conferences, this Daniel Blair character, has his own podcast called Main Event Moto. Subscribe to the Racer X Podcast Network. That'll show up in your inbox. He just finally got home and recorded an episode from his home studio instead of, as he has done the last couple weeks, which is recording them from Salt Lake City. Also the Moto Marketing Podcast. So it's all part of the Racer X Podcast Network. Subscribe. Send us a review, some likes. I don't know, likes? That's Facebook. 5-star reviews. That's Uber. I'm confused. Also, MX Tech Suspension, manufacturing professional aftermarket suspension for riders who want excellent comfort and control. Quality engineering is based on a lifetime of specializing in dirt bike suspension. And through that, they developed the Lucky Fork, featuring dual springs, dual cartridges, Huck valves, and its ultra-lightweight. MX Tech utilizes the latest technology and coatings to deliver max performance while remaining the lightest shock available. Head to mx-tech.com for more. Also brought to you by Psychic MX, a full-range motocross brand from engine internals to everyday wear and tear parts. From your weekend warriors to you full-on racers, they have everything you need. So check them out at psychicmx.com or visit your local dealer today. Don't forget, of course, to support us here at Racer X. Go to racerxonline.com/weege, W-E-E-G-E. Sign up to subscribe now. You'll get the magazine in either print or digital, or both, form, and you're in the running to win a specialized Turbo Levo mountain bike. E-bikes are amazing and awesome, full stop. It's kind of like the Salt Lake City plan. The many bad things you think are going to come of this won't. It's all good. Seriously, I've ridden these things. They handle well. They don't tear up trails. You still get a workout. They're awesome. Try one, or in this case, get one by winning. Go to racerxonline.com/weege to subscribe and you'll be entered automatically. Do not go /Blair or /Pulp. Don't do it. Okay, I think that's the intro. Let's get on with the press conference. Eli Tomac and Dylan Ferrandis.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the post-race press conference from the final round of the 2020 Monster Energy Supercross Championship. Huge congratulations, first off, to Eli Tomac winning his first 450 title. And a big congrats to Dylan Ferrandis and Chase Sexton on winning back-to-back 250 championships on their way to the 450 division. Eli, I'm going to start with you. Just 19 points. So you knew the math was on your side. You didn't have to do anything crazy today, but just still, what was it like today, just knowing that you had to get through it, everything had to go smooth, and you were, this morning, you were a couple hours away from being a champion, something that you've been chasing for a long time.
The worst part was Wednesday to Sunday. That was the worst. I was so mad. It was like it was this close, on Wednesday. And, it's just like you sit around Thursday and Friday and Saturday. And then finally Sunday's here. Really you try to go do your thing. But when it's the final day and it's there, like it's the weight's heavy. But, I feel like the whole day I carried it really well that way. I mean, it's nice when you have 19 points, right? You feel like you've got a lot of room, a lot of wiggle room. So just so cool. I mean, I think back to those other seasons where I was so close and basically, just gave it away at the end or was kind of lousy slow at the start. So, man, it's so cool to put it all together.
It's one thing for you to have to hear the narrative from the outside about the mistakes and the repetition with that. But when you're on that final lap, just, rolling it in there, the last corner, was the weight, what was that feeling like just to get that weight off, knowing that narrative's going to go away now? Like, you're a champion now. Just what was that feeling like? Say the last 10 seconds, whoop section, corner, finish line.
Yeah, it's when you're really, for me, it was like the last, it was about halfway. I'm like, man, this thing's going to be long. The good thing is like, Cooper and Kenny were behind me. So I knew I was like, and they weren't catching me. So I'm like, all right, I was super comfortable. I was kind of just cruising around and then it's like, man, it's just like that. And it's over, you get to the finish line and it's done. It's kind of weird. And it really, really is a bummer that the crowd isn't there and the people and the fans, but there's nothing we can do about it. So like I said, just like lifelong achievement and, just so cool.
Well, congratulations, man. Well earned. Dylan, I'll come to you. There was a stat that came up on the broadcast that it was your first last chance qualifier ever. What were you thinking? I guess go back to the corner when you were down. It took forever to get going. I mean, what's going through your mind at that point, knowing that uphill battle was coming?
It was tough. When I was a kid, it's funny because I always watch the Supercross, and I always say, the LCQ is not good. Like, you must not go LCQ. And I never been before in my last 4 years of racing Supercross, and just the last round, going to the LCQ was difficult mentally because you're gonna have the bad peak, and you still have to do it. But before you do it, you're gonna have the bad gate. So it was tough. Crashed in a second turn of my heat and crashed with the rider. Bike was stuck on my bike, and I say, okay, let's regroup and go back. And I finished 10 at like less than 1 second to the 9. So I went back to the truck and fix the bike, and I have to be ready for the LCQ. And it went well, good start, and I won it. And I know in the main I will have to give everything I had. And when I saw Austin down, I knew that it was like over. I will just have to finish the race to win. So that was unfortunate for him, but that was for me a big relief. I want to say.
Congratulations on going back to back.
Thank you very much.
Case, are you there? Not seeing him. All right, let's open it up. Josh Mosman, go ahead.
What's up? Josh Mosman, Motocross Action Magazine. Obviously, Eli, it's been a long time coming, 450 Supercross champion. What is your motivation? What has gotten you from the little kid on Suzuki 85s that I grew up watching on moto movies as an amateur, all the way to this point, and then to get so close multiple times, and then to just keep pushing forward? Then you get to that main event. The track is so sketchy. It's blue groove, dusty, and just brutal. What was your motivation to get you to this point, just to push through all the tough times? And then what was it like to ride just that brutal track? Were you worried, or were you just kind of soaking it in?
I mean, the motivation is to get this, right? To get this title. It was like, it's been so nagging, since 2017. I feel like, it's been right there, not right there every time, but especially 2017, that one was just, so close. And, it's literally, like my dream was 450 Supercross, championship. And, that's what you chase. That's why, you get up in the morning and, you get up out of bed with motivation. And I still totally love riding my dirt bike. So I love racing. I just love being competitive. It gives me the motivation to wake up. And, today it was, it was heavy, but it wasn't terrible, just because because of the points gap, right? The 19 points. And then I've the way I've felt all year, it's just been like steady Eddie and solid. So, I wasn't like totally freaked out on that start line.
Awesome. Thank you. Awesome job this season. And it was a pleasure to watch. And thank you for just putting on an awesome show.
Thanks.
Mitch Kendra.
Mitch Kendra, Racer X. Eli, obviously, congratulations on the championship. And then we all talked about it. Obviously, this isn't the way we all envisioned it. It's not the way you envisioned it. But now that you've won on Father's Day, how important is that to you, being that your dad's such a big part of your program, and then also you've become a father recently yourself? So how big is it to take that win on today?
Really cool that we've been able to stay together with myself and my dad. And, a lot of times that's not the case. Everyone's got their own deal, but, we've both been chasing this for so long, to get to this highest level and to get the Supercross championship. So, it was a bummer. Like, they couldn't be right there at the podium. That actually totally sucked, but, super cool for Jess and Lev to come down there too. We at least got to the finish line. We did a little photo, but just a pretty rad day, really.
Awesome. Thanks.
Aaron Hansel.
Is Chase on here yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So Eli, I know Josh touched on it a little bit, but can you talk a little bit about how it feels to complete? There's nothing that you haven't won now. You've won everything in both classes. So can you kind of talk about how that feels to complete that kind of, like, as you called it, a nagging hole that's now filled?
Yeah, it really hasn't. It's obviously done and dusted now, but I'm really going to wake up tomorrow and I think I'll really, feel it. And I was, like I've said it a couple times now, I really thought I was getting to maybe be running out of time. I don't know. When you just look at the past, past is past. You don't want to base everything off that, but I'm 27 now. I'm not sure if I'm the oldest guy to win this the first time, right? I think I might be. I don't know, but I'm 27, and and there's some people that doubt you that way, especially when you look at my past series. I have blown it a few times, so being able to fix that inconsistency is just it was a huge relief that way.
Jason Weigandt.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. For Eli, this is Jason Weigandt from Racer X. Another team and another set of trainers have won this title year after year after year. Was there a little motivation to prove your team, your trainer, who's your dad, your whole crew, and yourself to finally end that, because they had been winning a lot for a long time?
Yeah, when you look at those guys, that whole program there, they've won it, like you said, so many times, and in the years past. And really, it's preparation and being ready from the get-go, round one, and that's what you got to be, ready from the get-go. You can make up make up throughout the season. But that was the difference this year too, is like we were ready from round one. I didn't really have to dink around much, finding, comfort with the bike and getting through those 20 minutes. Like, by round two, I was back to my old self, I felt like, and we were just, firing and ready to go. And, I never felt like I've been at a disadvantage that way for my program. It was just, those inconsistent races where I just blow those points. So, got rid of that.
And with your dad being your trainer and being there the whole time, the reputation most trainers have is they're trying to get the rider to do stuff he doesn't want to do, and they're arguing back and forth, but that's pushing each other. Does that actually happen between you and your dad? Do you agree on everything, or are there times where I don't want to do this, and he wants you to do that? How does that dynamic actually work? Because I don't feel like we hear that side of it from you guys.
I mean, there's days where, we disagree on things like, hey, you need to go out there and do this section one more time or get this time. And that's there. Like, it's not, whatever, wildflowers every day out there. And, but that way we've been able to keep a good relationship that way. I don't live, at the property anymore. So there's good space there. And I think just the way our mentality is, we're kind of the same dudes, a little more mellow that way. So we make it work.
All right. Thanks. Congrats too. Congrats on getting it done. Yep.
Dark side.
Dylan, looking back last year and the way the championship was won on the final round, there's obviously always talk of some luck came into play with that one. This one, does this one feel different for you? Does it kind of knock that chip off the shoulder?
I feel like I was definitely in a position of Adam last year, like where that was exactly what he was, and that was tough. That was hard to manage because I never been in this position before, and was new for me. So some pressure. I feel like I was confident on myself, like on my physical program, on my skill, on everything. And in the practice, we saw that the lap time was really good and the speed was there. But I was more scared about like when someone else want to win so bad, like what he can do. I remember me last year, what I was thinking about to do if I had the chance to beat AC for the title, and that's what scared me a little bit today. Like Austin was really aggressive, obviously the last round, and I was just a little scared of what he could do. I mean, if he make a pass and beat me, it's something, but if he make me crash and I get injured or whatever, so that was really what I was scared a little bit about, and. Yeah, it was a hard day mentally. I feel I make a big progress today, and for the future, it's gonna help me a lot. But yeah, it was one of the hardest day of my life in racing. That was really hard on the racing point.
And Eli, you've mentioned a bunch of times that it sort of was getting to feel like this thing might get away from you. Time might run out for you to win the championship. On a day in, day out basis, like, how do you mentally overcome that? Because that seed of doubt could easily have just, changed things.
It just, I've been able to stay competitive, for the win. So, that's what has really, I feel like, kept me in it, right? Like, I can still go out there and win races. So that's probably the thing that's kept me going, knowing I have still have the winning capability. And that's that. I mean, I've been so close so many times that, I never wanted to settle.
David Iser.
Eli, congratulations, brother, for getting this done. The mental side of sports is what fascinates me, whether it's ball and stick sports or motorcycle racing. And the disappointment that you've overcome in the last several years, arguably being the fastest rider, not being able to complete a title. How do you internalize that? Do you use that as motivation, or do you try to block it out? How does that mentally inside your head go?
For me, it's I almost feel like I've just had to put ice in my veins, like not care about what other people say or think, and try to just improve on those weaknesses. And emotionally, like I said, like just have ice in your veins. Like you got to block everyone out, kind of all the negative, comments or thoughts. And that's it. You got to just be cold like this, but then just steady, like
I'm sorry, has that affected your relationship with maybe how the fans perceive you because of the media and the onslaught of maybe the keyboard warriors? Have you felt like you put this wall up to protect yourself?
Somewhat. I mean, I'm not, the most outgoing, just say for my everyday lifestyle, but that in that way, but my emotions have changed, for racing. Like, I feel like I've just matured more in my my racing mindset when I'm on that starting gate and on the track. That's changed for me even from say 2017, 2018 and there. That I feel like I'm in a different, state of mind while riding.
All right, thanks for that honest question. And quickly for Dylan, again for the mental side of stuff, on the podium, you're always smiling. You always have a very positive attitude, even with the LCQ. I want to know internally what you're going through. Are you that calm, or inside? Are you very? Is there turmoil during those times when you act so cool on the outside?
Yeah, I mean, I was like this because, with everything happening in the world right now, we are lucky. As my position, we are lucky to race and do what we like. So that's why I was. I mean, even if I didn't win the championship today, I would be mad for sure and sad. But I kind of felt like there is other thing in the world that we need to think about. And when I fell down and I have to go to the LCQ, I said, okay, I was really, really calm and make the walk in LCQ. And I said, okay, let's go. We see what happened, and still trying to be positive because I really feel that's make in the mind is make a big difference to have people around and to be always positive and try to enjoy life. And like I said, I was looking for this title for sure, but if I didn't have it, last year I was lucky to have it, and there's other thing in the world. So I don't know. I just grew up also, and I'm older now, and I try to think differently and don't be always sad because every time I don't win, I'm sad, obviously. But if that's not good for me and the people around. So try to work on that.
Hey, at least the cardboard fans can't boo in Salt Lake City. You didn't have to worry about that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. When people told me, there will be no fans, at least nobody will boo me. But honestly, I missed the final.
All right, thank you, sir.
Kit Palmer.
It's Kit Palmer from Cycle News. This is for Eli. Hey, first of all, congratulations on the championship. It was well-deserved. After the race, you talked a little bit about the strategy going into the season. Can you elaborate on that just a little bit more? And as well as your strategy for the day in the race? And what would you have done if Cooper was right behind you at that point? Just kind of talks through the strategies of both.
Yeah, so strategy beginning the season, it was just being more in it right away. I felt like I've kind of been a little slow through rounds 4 or 5. And that's where I think my worst or my bad finish was Anaheim 1. I felt like I was just kind of hanging out in whatever it was, 6th or 5th. And then today it was, I really didn't know what to expect from those guys. I didn't know if someone was going to be out to get me or not, or what. I mean, you never know on these days. I mean, there's a lot on the line. And even the first couple laps, I was looking around. I was looking for Cooper. I'm like, where is he? Because I didn't see him at the front. I'm like, man, hopefully he's not right behind me. He's going to try something, or you never know. You put those things through your head. But it seems like everything kind of settled in. That track was really torn up that way. And then I finally saw those guys behind me. So that was it. I'm like, all right, now I'm in a good spot. And that was it. So kind of anticlimactic, the race, but that's how it goes, that last race sometimes.
All right. Well, thank you. And hey, Dylan, also after the race, you said this was the most difficult day in your life. I was wondering if you can kind of explain about that a little bit.
Just because I have to go to the LCQ, like I said before, was the LCQ as a rider is a nightmare. You just don't want to go there, and you never know what can happen. And I always don't want to go there. And it's happened today on my last race of of the season. So yeah, that's why it was really hard, and emotionally it was difficult because you go in LCQ, there's a chance you do not qualify if anything happens, and you're gonna have a bad gate pick for the main. So it was hard. It was just hard to manage, and to still won the championship this way was just a big relief.
Thank you, Dylan. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dan Lamb.
Yeah, I'll start with Dylan, Dan Lamb, Moto X Addicts. In that first gate drop, your ninth, you obviously probably looked around and saw Austin up there in second. How panicked were you? What was going through your mind in that moment when you had to get forward?
Honestly, like after 1 or 2 laps, I was pretty confident because I knew I had the skill, I knew the speed and the physical. So I was kind of ready to battle and wanted to go out front and give the best and see. But it's honestly when I see Austin down that I just check, like I say, okay, I don't need to push anymore, and I just cruising all the main for the second start. But yeah, before that, I saw that Austin was second or third, I don't know, but out front, and I was like, okay, let's go. I was ready for that, and I planned to give everything I had anyway.
Yeah, congratulations, Dylan. It's great to see the kind of emotion you showed on the podium. Can you talk a little about the emotion you were feeling up there when you got the number 1 plate again?
Yeah, I still don't know why I'm emotional like that. It's probably because I come from a small town in France, and to move from there and live in the US and chasing my dream and won 2 times back-to-back the championship is just a big dream come true. So that's why I think I get emotional. And yeah, like I said, it was a difficult day for me. I had a lot of stuff to manage to get this championship. So I was just proud and happy, and I let all the emotion go.
Nice. And real quick for Eli, would you say with kind of what you guys were talking about with the keyboard warriors and all the talk about not being able to win a championship up to this point, would you say it was more a relief or more elation when you got this title?
It's really just relief. Like I'm up to 34 wins, so yeah, I'm like, I better get one of these things before I'm done. I mean, it was like just relief, really relief. Like, finally get one.
Thanks. No more being considered the winningest guy without a title. Damon Bradshaw's got that again.
Man, it just drove me crazy. It's been driving me up the wall. Seriously.
Congrats, Eli. Thanks.
Michael Antonovich.
Thanks, Daniel. Michael Antonovich, Slot Moto Live. This is for Dylan. When you guys had the first start of the 250 Showdown and you come around and you see Austin down, at that point, like, the title is yours. I even saw you kind of look to the crowd figuring out if it was done. Was it hard to be motivated and focused for that 15 minutes because you knew it was already mission accomplished?
So what was crazy is that when we had the red flag, I came to my mechanic. So I knew obviously Austin was out. And I saw my teammate Justin Cooper went to the pit, to the paddocks. I was like, so what happened? Maybe he crashed and he's not gonna ride. So if he don't ride, I'm already champ. Like I don't need to ride. And he banged his bar, and I just asked his mechanic to fix it, and he just goes and back. So when he come back, I was like, okay, yes, I still have to ride and finish in front of him. I mean, if he won, I had finished something like 13. So I think about it, but yeah, for sure, Austin was a big something big to manage today. So for sure, when I saw him down, kind of say, okay, now I just have to cruise for the second start, and it will be okay. So he gave me the easy task, I want to say.
Okay, thank you. For Eli, the 7 races in Salt Lake City have been great. What do you feel like was maybe your best moment? Was there one race win or maybe a charge from the back that you feel like, hey, this was me at my best while we were here?
I would say the first 3 races, I felt like that was like the time to, and it was like to get ahead. I mean, we came here with +3 on Ken, and I felt like, it was big to make that first race statement. And then the mud race with Cooper, I rode my freaking heart out on that one. So, those 2 really stand out. Really, those 2 wins, and then being able to claw back in those couple, where those were important too. But the wins, I felt like, to stamp those were huge early on.
Cool. Hey, thanks, boys. Congratulations on a great year.
Thanks.
Alex Gobert.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, Alex Gobert, MotoOnline.com. This one's for Eli. Similar question to Anton, I guess. For you, looking back on the season, you've had 7 wins, another great year, this time with the championship. So looking back, is there any one moment that stands out for you, one win? What was the actual highlight for you, aside from obviously winning the title?
The Daytona win was nice. I mean, that was another big, just, I call it like a big dig, just really grinding to the front. But like the ones that I was able to recover on, those were almost better for me, because I think back to Atlanta. I mean, the crash, like with Weigandt, I mean, that was just like, I kind of call it just a dumb mistake, being rushed that way, being down on the ground and getting back up and getting fourth. I look back to my other years where like I had a crash in Dallas and I went back to say like 10th. So really just those better moments, when I was down in the dirt.
Awesome. Thank you. Congrats.
Steve Mathis.
I got a question for each guy. Congratulations on your titles, by the way. First, I'll start with Dylan. Dylan, there was an inside gate open, maybe 3 from the inside, 4 from the inside. I'm not sure. Did you see it? And if you did, why didn't you take it? I was wondering that sitting up there in the press box.
In the main event, it was a gate open in the inside?
Yes, there was a gate, like 3 from or 4 from the inside.
That's weird. I haven't seen it. The thing is, we were a little running late, and I didn't see it. I feel like there's a flag number with the number everywhere, and that's why I've been outside. But no, if I saw that, I would go. And after, when they make the restart, they didn't want us to change the gate, so I had to go outside. I could take the gate of Faulkner, but they didn't want us to do that.
Okay, question. Thank you. A question for Eli. Eli, we all talked about this Salt Lake City Supercross series, these 7 rounds, helping you out with the altitude, helping you out with, maybe type of dirt and everything. And you came into it 3 up, and you just really crushed it. Some of it due to Kenny not being quite as good either. But what did you think of the whole process of coming here for yourself for these 7 rounds?
Well, when I first think of it all, it's like, it's just you're so pumped that we can just finish this series. Like it would have been just terrible, like to end at Daytona like that and just really no one be crowned or anything. Having them give us the opportunity to get these 7 in. I mean, it was at least, I feel like, the first race and this last race, it was kind of a dust bowl, right? Hard pack. But, we did have, multiple surfaces and conditions, with the mud race and kind of stuff in the middle. So, one crazy late one. So, I mean, it seemed a little bit repetitive, but at the same time, it wasn't. We got all those different tracks in. So, I feel like for being stuck in one spot, it all, seemed like it was, it worked out okay.
Jason Weigandt.
One more for Eli. So you just said how much you still love riding your dirt bike and how passionate you are about that. Obviously, with your family's background in bicycling, that would have seemed like a logical career path for you. Is that literally what led you down here? You just loved riding dirt bikes more than anything else? Is that how come this is the career you chose?
When you're 4 or 5 years old, it must be something you love, right? And, you have to have the guidance from your parents, to get you to, a certain level. You have to have the support and the guidance. But, I really do enjoy riding my bike. Like I still don't, I don't feel like I'm burnt out that way. I feel like the only thing I get burnt out is travel. So, still racing, I don't feel like I'm, just here to be here, that kind of way. I mean, maybe I come off that way a little bit with the way I just, my emotions come off, but I really do enjoy, riding my bike.
David Iser, back to you.
Eli, I'm not sure if you watch 250 races normally, but did you watch that carnage, and did you put you in a different mental space when you saw all that was going down on the 250s?
Yeah, when you look at that, I mean, that's just that's the 250 class. I mean, we were like, man, this is going to be a barn burner no matter what went down. So it's just your mindset. You know, a lot of those guys are still pretty young. I mean, there are some guys that are a little bit older, but they throw it in there. You know, like you look at turn 2, you know, those crashes, and it's just you're going for it. You know, you really don't have much fear at that age, and you're still learning too. So that's just the 250 class. I'm at this point when I watch those, I'm like, I'm glad to be out of there.
Thank you.
Last question, Kit Palmer.
I was going to say one for Chase. Is Chase going to be around? Do you know?
No, hasn't popped on. So.
Well, I'm good. I think I've got all my answers.
I'll ask one more to close it. This one's for Dylan. You're moving up to the 450 division. We talked earlier in the year. We were on an elevator at one of the races, and you said you watched the 450 guys, and you're starting to somewhat file away information on these guys because you knew you'd be racing them. Knowing that you're moving up now, how does it feel? Knowing that the next time you're on a Supercross track, it'll be with Eli and Cooper and Ken Roxon. I mean, that's big step coming.
Yeah, for sure. Like Eli said, the 250 is a little crazy and wild, and I feel like it's time for me to move to 450. And yeah, we see I'm getting older also, and I think I have what it takes to ride in front. I don't know if I will be one day able to win a race, but for sure I'm working hard, and I will give everything I have to do that. So I will try for sure. But yeah, I really want to move. I want to move to 450 for next year and be ready to battle with this guy. And that's a dream to ride the 450 Supercross. So I definitely want to do it, and I hope to have a good winter and finish on a good bike, sign a good deal, and be competitive for next year. And 450 will be my first year, but I mean, I feel like I can do something great when I see AC doing what he did this year, and we have battled together last year. So I kind of feel a little confident of what I can do on the 450, but I know also is such a big move and difficult move. So we see. But yeah, that was my last 250 race, and ready to move.
Well, Dylan, congratulations. Eli, congratulations on your championship. Thank you guys for putting on a great show this year. And to everybody in the media, thank you guys for being a part of this over the last 3 weeks. It's been a fun close of the season. Thank you.
That's it. I got to go. My hair's on fire. We are now deep in the midst of planning for Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, and it's 48 hours since Supercross ended and a month before that season begins. And here we are. Well, more like 3.5 weeks. Maybe that's why I'm in such a rush. Thanks to Yoshimura, our title sponsor. Go to yoshimura-rd.com. You know their exhaust systems work. Let's look how it worked out for Chase Sexton. High five me, buddy. My son just walked in. He wanted a high five. And also racerxonline.com/Weege. Win one of those e-bikes. Trust me, you'll love it. That's it. We'll be back with more. Oh, you interrupted. My gosh, see? Hair on fire, just like I said. Enjoy the show.